Greetings, Inquisitor. I'm glad you found this holocron. Today's information is all about mods. This is number 4 in my mod series. This is about 2 weeks worth of mod work that we're going to do today. Go through, sort out all the mods, figure out which ones are good enough to keep and work on, which ones we're going to sell off. We're going to spend a lot of time modding characters in this one. We're going to remod several of the troopers. We're going to work on Count Dooku, getting the tenacity set on him. And I'll explain a little bit my method for remodding characters that are already modded. So that'll be fun. Let's just remember when we're working on mods what concepts we're using. When you're picking mods to put on a character, you're almost always going to want speed substats over a mod with no speed. And that makes the speed substat a very high priority for us. When optimizing characters, you'll always pick mods that match the character's needs. So if you're picking defensive mods for a tank, you're going to want health substats, protection, defense, those types of substats. If it's an offensive character, you're going to want crit chance, offense percent, things like that to make the character hit harder. So we're going to try to match the mod sets up with their relative stats. We're not going to invest credits in bad stats, so as soon as we know that a mod isn't satisfactory, we're going to sell it off and not invest anything further into it. We're not going to work on too many mods unless they have speed. Remember, any mod can be a speed mod, so even if it has trash substats, as long as it keeps hitting in speed, we can always put that mod on a character just to have the speed. It's best when the stats match the mod set. Like we said, that's what you're going to pick, so that's what we're going to work on. We're going to sell any mod with 2 bad stat lines. We're going to lock mods that are worth slicing, and we're not going to slice mods that we haven't chosen to lock. We expect that 85% of everything we work on is going to get sold off. 10% of it's going to be okay. 4% is going to be good mods, and maybe 1% will be excellent. Remember, for the offensive style of mods, we like crit chance, speed, offense, and offense percent as the main stats. Potency, protection, health, and defense percents are all okay. And we're not so excited about flat defense, health, protection, and tenacity percent. For defensive style mods, we like speed, health, defense, protection, and even then you do like the offense percent because even on a defensive character, it never hurts for him to hit a little harder. Potency percent, flat offense, and crit chance are okay. And again, we're not so fond of the flat stats, protection, health, and defense. Tenacity percent is not so great, except on a tenacity mod. If it's a tenacity set mod, then tenacity is the best stat that you can roll. But pretty much specifically on tenacity mods. All right, with that, we're going to go ahead and get into the video, and we're going to see what it is that we did for the account this week. First things first, we got to sell a bunch of stuff off. And going through and sorting out, selling off all the mods that their main stat line doesn't meet the mod set. Again, if a cross has tenacity and it's not a tenacity set, for example, if it's an offensive style mod with a defense main stat, we're going to sell those off right away. We don't really care what substats they develop because we're not going to pick an offense mod with a defense main stat. Here we're going through looking for speed. Here we've got a 5-speed purple mod. We get a couple hits in defense, and it's just all hits, no speed, so we're going to sell that one off. And again, this account has developed to the point where mediocre speed on a speed mod is not acceptable. This one gets 16 speed, so it's definitely good. We'll find a use for that. Actually, we'll apply that mod later in this video. We'll see it back again in a bit. But we're to the point where we're not going to accept mediocre mods. We really have to go for really good mods, things with double-digit speed, multiple upgrades, and decent stats on the other lines. We're also getting enough mods in here. You can see I've got them sorted out not only by the squares but by the rarity of the squares, and we still have at every level 10 or 15 of these already in the account. And the ones that you see at the top there that are already level 15, those have been on a character. They've been replaced with other mods, and these mods then haven't been picked back to put on another character. So here we've got to select some of those to sell them. And we're going, this has crit chance, but it's got some other bad stats and not much speed, so we're going to sell it off. But we have to make some choices, and throughout this video you're going to see at a lot of these different rarity levels I have to go in and choose and sell a whole bunch of mods off just to make some space in my inventory and make sure that I can keep accumulating mods. We'll lock that one in. Pretty good substats. Here we didn't get speed. A lot of speed mods this week. Here we got a hit on speed, but it's a 3 and a 3. It's only a 6 speed mod with 2 hits in it, so it doesn't have much potential to go up from there. All right, here we got speed, but it didn't develop, and the other stats weren't good enough. Again, no speed. Here we have speed. We hit tenacity on the first upgrade. We go to 12. We do get the speed up there. 7 speed with a 3 and a 4, not good enough. We're going to get rid of it. If it would have hit the speed again, we'd have been interested, but with 2, it's not going to work out. Now, again, we're looking for excellent mods, and we don't want to have to spend a whole bunch of slicing materials to find out and hope maybe we get lucky and it's excellent. Tried to develop a speed substat there and missed. Here we've got an offense mod. Again, not good enough stats. Moving on to the next one. Green rarity. Here we've got speed already, so we just go ahead and hit it with 12. Now, when you're working on green mods, it's pretty easy because they have 1 stat developed, and if you go up to 12, you'll get 1 duplicate stat. So for speed mods where we're looking for speed at the green level, that 12 has to hit speed. We're really looking for it to hit speed because in order to go any further, we have to invest a lot of slicing materials. We don't want to invest slicing materials in anything unless it's a really good mod. So with green mods, if you don't get those 2 hits in speed on a speed mod, then we're pretty much going to sell it off every time. Even though it has good stats, it's only got 3 speed and didn't get that second upgrade. All right, there we had 2 flat stat lines, not enough speed. We didn't develop speed on that mod at all. Off it goes. Again, just keep going through mod after mod after mod, looking for the right substats. And again, we're working on speed mods, so getting good speed substats is everything. With other mod sets, you have a little more flexibility in what you accept, but with speed, you need to be fast on everything that you're going to commit to slicing on for sure. Here we get a 10 speed mod with the first hit. That's good. Defense crit chance, 1 flat stat, not too bad. We're going to go ahead and slice it. We hit defense percent and then flat defense. So now it's a purple mod, and it's still only got 2 speed upgrades. If we took it to gold, the best it could get is a 3rd. So we'll park it. It's not a bad mod, but we're not excited about continuing to slice it after a couple misses like that. All right, and then we filter it on down. Now it's time to get on to the squares. So we won't go through all of the different mods this week. We're going to take some shortcuts here coming up in a bit, and you won't have to watch me do every single mod. But I do want to give some examples for people who are following along to kind of see the methodology that I'm using, and that we're very choosy with mods. These are good stats. Offense, crit chance, offense. So even though we didn't get the second speed hit on that one, they're all stats that we might want. So we park that mod, and we may come back and work on it again later at some point. In terms of what mods to sell and what mods to keep, it really, as your account develops, as you get more mods into your account, you do get more and more selective about what you keep. And I think that's what it takes to develop a truly good mod group for your whole roster and a good mod inventory. You can't be, well, it's good enough. Good enough is good enough, and I don't like farming mods, so you know what? I'll just keep this one, and it's fine. You really got to strive for excellence. At least that's my opinion. We're going through these diamonds now, and I think we got a good one coming up here that develops speed. We're just selling off the ones that don't. Crit chance, health, speed, that's good. We hit second offense, so we park that mod. Again, we may come back to it later. Some of these mods, you just want to have them in your inventory, and then when you're modding a character, you might pick them. and work on them then. Here we got a second hit in speed. We got offense, health, percent crit chance. So this is a good mod. We're going to try slicing that. We know that right away. 8 speed. Now we hit it with another +4. We get it to 12 speed. Then we hit it again. We got 6 on that one. Take it to 18. That's a nice hit. And then we get a 5th roll, a 4th additional stat of +4 for a total of 22 speed on this mod. And we're just going to go ahead and take it straight to 6 dots because we know it's going to be a 6-dot mod at some point. So we go ahead and make that commitment right away. We're going to end up putting this on a character shortly. So may as well just finish it off. All right. Then we have to look through these and try to sort out some more of these mods up top to sell. And the decisions are hard because these are all mods that I kept for some reason. And then you got to go back and you have to decide whether they're good enough to keep or not. So here we're fast forwarding through it. You know, we're working on diamonds. Now we're working on circles. We're just going through the whole inventory like we always do. Here we're making selections on what to sell. We're looking at some of these 12, some of these mods that I've had in inventory for a while now. In the end, it's easiest probably just to come in here and sort them in this tool. And then you can see all of the high-level mods. The ones that are level 15, you lose the ability to sell, so you pretty much have to come in here and look at them. So this is Tenacity and Speed mod, so that's pretty good. We want to keep that. This has offense, but it's got 2 rolls and flat protection, 10 speed. It's good, but maybe not good enough, so we're going to sell it off. A speed mod with only 5 speed, bunch of tenacity. We're going to sell that one off. Again, tough decisions we have to make here. Tough decisions. Tenacity mod with no tenacity there. It's got potency, speed, health, and a little bit of flat health, but no tenacity on it. That is a crit chance mod. It does have crit chance, but it has no speed and a couple defensive stats on it, so we're going to get rid of that. So again, these are not bad mods. These are mods that I already kept or developed or put on characters. So you guys are looking at the stats on these going, man, some of these meet your criteria. Why are you selling them? Because I'm getting too many mods, and those are not the ones that I'm choosing. So mods that are 15, you got to think, I developed these mods, I put them in the account, I'm not picking them. I'm not putting them on a character. So off they go. And again, at blue and green level, there's still a lot of slices that you have to invest, and every slice is a big investment. So you're only going to, or at least my opinion is, you only slice the very best. So the ones that are good but not good enough, off they go. Here we have to do more of the same. We have to sell off a bunch of the level 12 and 15 green mods there. And we are working on circles that are health percent. I'm lacking, it seems like I'm just lacking development in circles that had health. I got a lot of them with protection early on. And I do need some of those in my inventory, especially for teams like Padme and stuff like that where health matters. You want to get that health main stat on your circles. So I've been working on gray circles that have the health stat. And I'm back to selling all the gray mods. I did have a week where I worked on all the gray mods, but then I ran out of money that week. So yeah, I think we're better off selling the gray mods. I've come to like that little process. So I'm, 7 months in now and still selling off the gray mods. Again, trying to pick these mods to sell is frustrating because these are already some good mods. Here's an offense with a little bit of speed, potency main stat. Some characters that like offense also like potency, like Anakin, Vader, a bunch of characters like that. But these mods just aren't good enough. We're not going to pick them for those characters. This one has flat protection and defense. It has some good offensive stats, but also a bunch of defense on it. This tenacity mod has speed substat, but it does not have a tenacity main stat, and it doesn't have a tenacity substat anywhere. So with no tenacity in a tenacity mod, we're going to go ahead and rationalize that and sell it off. All right, then we're going to try to sell off some blue mods here. Again, we're looking at some of these level 15 mods that have been taken back off of characters, been replaced. So these mods have some pretty good stats on them. Pretty decent stuff, but still got to pick a couple of them to sell. So, and there's no criteria for it. I mean, nobody's telling me that I have to sell 6 mods out of each category or whatever. I'm just trying to make sure that I have enough inventory space to keep working. Speed mod with only 7 speed, a couple flat stats. And again, these are not bad mods. I just probably not going to invest slicing materials in them, and they're not good enough to continue to develop without slicing. So off they go. All right, back around to the crosses. Now we've got crosses to work on and develop. We got a pretty interesting defense cross there. All right, we only found one of those to sell, and then we're in on working on these. And again, we had some good potential on some of this stuff, but didn't really work out too much in our favor. The only really good mod we got for the week was that one that we showed you with the 23 speed, and the rest of it, got a couple double-digit mods, some 12s and like a 17, 16, some things like that. So we did pretty well overall, not bad at all. Here we're taking a look at Piet. We're getting ready to relic him here in a couple weeks, so we've got potentially look at his mods and gear and all of that stuff. Stark right now has our best just raw speed mod set, and I think where we're at now we could do even better. So what we're looking to do right here is just trying to tweak this particular mod set and get it up as high as we can. We've got speed, but we don't have a second set. And if I can find a decent crit chance mod with speed main stat, then we can go ahead and use that and get 2 set bonuses onto Stark. With the arrow, it doesn't really matter so much. We could just slice it up to 6 dots and be back to 32 speed on the mod. So we find one that has decent stats that we're willing to slice. And there we go. We've got health, potency, percent offense, and flat offense, and a 32 speed arrow. Now we're up to 329 speed. Still probably some opportunities for us. So here we go. Keep looking. 21 speed, protection, health, defense. It would take a lot of materials to slice that to purple, so we hold off on that for right now. There's a couple higher potential mods that we have, like this one. So we hit it, and we get defense percent. We're going to hit it again. We get offense percent. We hit it again. We get crit chance. So 3 slices, 3 misses. We don't get the speed. But that's okay. We'll just keep chipping away at it. There's the good mod that we rolled for the week this week, that 23 speed mod got put on there. And that puts this mod set, puts him at 330 with that mod set on. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap out his mod set with Piet, and we're going to make Piet the fastest trooper on the team. We've got some old sets here that we've been working with the speed sets. So we just delete them out, get things current. We create a loadout from Stark's current mods. And then we can go over to Piet, and we could just go in here to his mods, assign a loadout. We'll create the loadout from Piet so that his mods don't get lost somewhere. If we just take Stark's mods and throw them onto Piet, then we got to start over with the next set. So I don't want to do that. So we just slap those mods onto Piet, and he's 318. Now we still have 2 more pieces to get him to gear 13. That'll give him another 14 speed, and when you take him to relic level, I think there's 2 or 3 more speed involved there. So he'll be something like 334, 335, something like that when he's all done. It's pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. And eventually that mod set then is going to end up on Gideon because he is the fastest of the troopers. So the best speed mod set will eventually end up on Gideon, and he'll be the one that we really want to go first. So we put the Piet, the prior mod set that was on him, onto Stark. Now we're going to take a look around and see what we can improve over here. We're going to arrange them by speed. And you saw I took the check mark off so that we can see all mods. So normally I think it defaults to that where you can only see unassigned mods. But for this we want to see all mods, and even if we have to steal one from somebody else, we're trying to make a fast speed set. The reason you want 2 of your troopers to be very fast, it's around 3v3. It's also around making sure that you don't have a gap. So if your troopers you got one fast trooper that goes first. If your next trooper doesn't go soon enough, let's say you gain 20% turn meter, and if that 20% turn meter isn't enough to get up to that speedy character's speed, then there'll be a gap, and your opponent can act in that gap. So you want to make sure that you have 2 fast troopers, and Stark and Piet, they both do buffs. They give a bunch of extra turn meter under the Veer's leadership. So with those 2 characters, then we're always going to be pretty good on making sure that we've got the speed and the turn meter train locked down. All right, so we're taking mods from other people when we need to. Here we have a 19 Speed Potency Mod. That's not really a need for potency on this character so much as it's just the mod that we have that has really good speed. We also have a very good potency triangle that gives us a bunch of speed as well. Here you see that there's that 16 speed square that we developed earlier in this video, and now we're going to put it on and we're going to hit it with another slice and try to get it to 4. But it stays at 16. It goes to 17 when we do the 6-dot mod on it. Here we 6-dot the diamond, and here we cannot 6-dot the circle because we're swapping it out from a character, and the character is not currently gear 12, so it tells us that you can't go to 6-dot mods until you commit. So we commit the mod, we pay for it, and then we're just getting these mods to 6 dots. Again, I have tons of 6-dot material saved up. I've got to commit some 6-dot mods on this account. So now we've got a full 6-dot mod set for Stark, and we've managed to get him all the way back to 313 speed. So that's pretty good. 2 really fast troopers. Snow Troopers mod set we put on very early in the game. We just tried to get him a bunch of crit chance. So it's just crit chance everywhere, and then crit damage main stat on the triangle. And I do want to try to get a little more speed on this guy. So in certain circumstances, and especially in 3v3, he gets left behind. So we need to think about getting an offense mod set onto him, and then looking for more speed substats, especially for 3v3. So we're just looking to improve his mod set. The problem is, I'm struggling to find mods that are good enough to put on this character, because he is a relic character, and I want to make commitment on good mods to him. But there's nothing that seems to be that much better than what I've already got. So I'm looking through here trying to figure out, what mods could really be an improvement over what he has. We don't want to give up the crit chance, because with him, you just want to take the area effect, get a lot of crits, get a lot of big hits, and that's how this character works. So we don't want to tune down his damage at all. We want to tune it up if we can. But you can see I'm on the arrow and I'm already stuck. I'm not finding a good offense set that fits over on this character, and I'm not really finding like crit chance arrows or anything that's going to be a big upgrade as to what Snow Trooper has. So as much as I really want to, basically we found one arrow that could be upgraded, and we're going to sort these by speed. We're going to look at all the mods. I'm not going to steal from characters like Jedi Knight Anakin or Vader, because their mod sets are already good. But, I stole some stuff from the Geo Brood Alpha. I stole some stuff from Dooku already. But we'll fix all that here in a minute. So when I'm modding like this, when I'm remodding characters and stealing mods off of other characters, I don't bounce back and forth, and then I took a mod from GBA and then, go back and fix GBA right away. I've got a method that I'll show you of checking to make sure that I've addressed all the characters that I stole mods off of. So it's a little bit different, but that's what I do. So here I'm still searching. I'm still looking. I'm looking at triangles now, and this offense set thing just isn't panning out. I can't even steal mods from other characters that I really want. A lot of crit chance with crit chance on the triangle. So at this point, we just give up. We say, look, until the next round where we're farming offense mods, maybe we just don't get anything better for the Snowtrooper. So he stays where he's at for another season. Grandmaster Yoda, the same kind of thing. We would like to get him to hit a lot harder or to go a lot faster. So the two things that we're considering here are either switching over to an offense set or a speed set. And again, because of the Snowtrooper's reliance on crit chance, I wasn't finding great mods that had a lot of crit chance, but I do have some offense mods in the account. So we're looking at speed, we're looking at offense, and the nice thing about this mode is you don't really, even though you're swapping out mods, you don't commit the money until you leave the screen. So that I put that triangle on with speed. You'll see here in a second I'll end up replacing that with a different triangle, but it doesn't cost me money until I actually click out of the screen and commit to it. So you can play around in the sandbox here for quite a bit until you make your final decision. So here we've got something with a ton of crit chance. That's going to work out okay for Yoda. Here we've got a potency triangle that we're going to put on there and see if we can find another potency item. Here we've got a pretty low speed, but it's got, again, good crit chance. It's got a bunch of stats that we like, so it's not bad. All right, and then we'll take that square there, and then up in the corner here, we're looking at potentially potency arrow with speed. We don't really need so much potency on Yoda. He benefits from it a little bit with one of his skills that steals turn meter, I think, but that's the only place that he benefits any from potency. It's not really a big deal with his character. He's not a debuffing character so much. All right, we'll take this one to gold and try to see if we can upgrade his stats. Now, these don't have very good speed rolls on them, so we're not intending to take them all the way to 6 dots unless we get, some more speed. So we've got him up to 2,700 damage. Again, not the greatest mod set. Wasn't good enough for me to try to put it on the Snowtrooper, but Yoda's, one of these middle ground characters that we've got taking up space on the Jedi team. So we just put a little more damage on him, got him hitting a little bit harder. So that's good. We got Veers with offense set right now too. Take a look at him. And then Count Dooku, I committed to something. I agreed to do something as a kind of a trial or a test. Basically, I've been asked if we can use the tenacity idea with characters other than Nest and see if there's other characters that can develop solos like Nest. So we're going to try that with the Dooku. We're going to try to put tenacity all over Dooku. And again, he's got counterattacks. He hits pretty hard. He has potential to stun. So we are going to look for a little bit of potency on the substats where we can find them. But we're going to go ahead and kit Dooku out with tenacity, and we're going to try to make him into a character that can solo things on offense, potentially. Take a look at that. So here we're just, again, what we're always doing, we're trying to pick mods that match our needs. So a tenacity mod with tenacity substats is ideal. That's what we're looking for. All right, and then tenacity, we really want tenacity with main stat tenacity on the cross. These characters have pretty good stats. We don't want to steal it off of them. In the end, this is decent stats for us too. And we take a look at getting 3 potencies or 3 tenacity sets. I keep saying potency. Getting 3 tenacity sets onto this guy. All right, here we take a couple slices at this mod. We do hit some more tenacity on it. So we park it there. And then this, we're thinking about taking to 6 dots because it really makes a big jump in the tenacity. You can see it goes up to 35% tenacity on the main stat when you 6 dot it. So we lost a bunch of speed. We're down to 240. That's pretty lame speed. Potency went down, but the tenacity has gone up by a full 100%. And that's damage is actually a little bit better with this set. So we're going to take a look at that on Dooku and see what we can do to try to make that work. All right. Now we need to go in and fix the characters where we took mods from. It's time that I remod this Brood Alpha with respect to his tenacity ability. He has a passive ability that gives him extra tenacity, 60%, I think, at the start of the match. So if you put a little bit of tenacity on him, it goes a long way because he stacks another 60% on top of it. And it makes him harder to debuff, makes him more resilient to a Vader counter. So we're looking for something that's got tenacity and also speed. We really need to have the speed on this Geo Brood Alpha. So we're going to go ahead and take this from Gideon because it does give us tenacity and also with speed. All right, and then we just need to figure out a tenacity mod or a speed mod for here. And here we've got one with crit damage, which is, it's good for Brood Alpha. He does hit decently hard, and in Conquest, especially as the leader, if you get leader's resolve, it can be good to have him hitting. So we do commit to a crit damage on him. We get his speed. It's 246. It was a little bit higher before we stole some speed mods off of him. So we lost quite a bit of speed on the Brood Alpha, but overall we got his tenacity up and we fixed his mod set. So now, in order to figure out if I've got everybody's mods when this is done, what I do is I go into the character screen and I just go top to bottom and I start leafing through all of the characters to make sure they're fixed. I knew that I took some mods off of Cassian Andor. He's another one of these characters where we put a bunch of tenacity mods on, just for that Mon Mothma gimmick with the tenacity that we've talked about before on stream. We do need to pay attention to potency with this guy, so we need some kind of potency or tenacity with him. The character is based on putting a lot of debuffs on, so if you don't get some kind of tenacity going on him, you kind of lose his gimmick a little bit. So we're just scanning through here again and again, trying to figure out the mod sets. And like I said, remember, you're not committed to it until you lock in, so you can play around, move mods around, have a few different things, and then when you go out here, you confirm that locks it in. Okay, Moff Gideon, we have one cross that we stole off of him. We don't really need a tenacity set on Moff Gideon. Literally, the only reason that cross was on him is because it was fast. So we can assign anything to Gideon just to keep his speed up, and that's fine. We are going to take a look at other potential things here. We've got a crit chance set that might work. Here we've got speed that might work. And then we go for the arrow and we look for a speed main stat with crit chance. And we upgrade his speed a little bit and we get more crit chance on him. So not bad overall. Good selection, good addition to his build here. All right. I think now I'll check. Go to Piet. He's got all his mods. And then you just keep paging through the arrow. It takes you to the next character. You see this arrow at the bottom of the screen. And I go past Maul, and I've got him to 7 stars, mostly because there's been some events where I needed one more Sith. So I'd been farming him out of the fleet store anyway, so I took him to 7 stars and put some gear on him just for events. But I guess I never modded him. So I've even used him on some defensive teams in Grand Arena, I think, putting him in a Sith team. So it's high time he got modded. He's probably a good enough character now. I think he's like gear 7 or 8, but But yeah, so we found out that we don't have any mods on him at all. But now we're at the bottom of the barrel, guys, and this is what I'm saying. You know, we're down here at the bottom, and there's actually a few of these mods that I think are probably too good to go on Maul, because he is just a fill-in character. So I'm kind of having a struggle, because some of these mods that would be good on him are a little bit too good, and I don't want to put them on him knowing that I'm just going to steal them back off of him at some point anyway. So I'm looking for mods that are good but not awesome. Like this one right here, the health triangle. It has good stats, good speed, and you think to yourself, well, 12 speed, I don't know. It's just, I don't want to throw it on a character that's this weak. I want to figure out some place to put that on a better character. So that's it. It's just a quandary. We're going back and forth here. Here's a crit damage one with some crit chance. It's just a speed mod. And we're not even paying too much attention to the substats and all that stuff. We're just looking for, you know, good enough is good enough in you know, outfitting these third string characters like this. Here we've got one that's 6 speed, pretty decent stats. Was on a character, got taken off a character, now gets put back on a character. All right, so second string stat lines, 171 speed. That's lame stuff, but all right, now let's go through and finish this out. We're looking at mods, making sure that everybody's got their 6 mods, and it looks like everybody who had mods stolen from them is fixed. So we're good. We're done. And that wraps up the mod work for this video. You got to see all of the mod development that I was doing in the account for a 2-week time period. You got to see a couple of good slices that we got on mods. You got to see my method for remodding and trying to develop a really high speed set for the troopers. So hope you enjoyed it. If you like these kinds of videos, subscribe to the channel so you can watch more like this in the future. Hit that like saber on your way out if you haven't already. Take care of that like button. That helps me, helps the channel. Join us on Discord. It's linked down in the description of the video below. Appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you in the next holocron.